Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, more than 2,500 products have reduced in size over the last 5 years, but we're still paying the same price for them. New findings show that chocolate bars, toilet rolls and coffee are just some of the items to have been affected by the phenomenon dubbed shrinkflation. Some companies are blaming the rising costs of ingredients and materials for the trend. Our correspondent Sophie Long has been finding out more.
Andrex has always prided itself on being
soft, strong and unbeatably long.
But now we hear it's getting shorter.
So spend your pennies wisely.
Love these.
And Maltesers
187 calories of naughtiness, actually.
will have even fewer calories because you won't find as many of them in the bag.
Thank you. Back in the olden days, when I was spending my pocket money on pick and mix, 50 pence certainly went a lot further. Thank you. Nowadays, though, some companies are choosing not to raise their prices, but to make things smaller, which means they go more quickly. Can I have some more cola bottles, please?
While many of us could probably do with cutting back on our confectionery consumption, some products suffering so-called shrinkflation could be considered essentials. Take Andrex toilet roll, for example. That's now 19 sheets shorter. A packet of McVitie's dark chocolate digestives is now 32 grams lighter. And a carton of Tropicana orange and raspberry is now 850 millilitres. You used to get a whole litre. Some consumers are not impressed.
It's not fair. It's not right. You know, on low-income families and people with children to feed, it's not really fair, is it?
If the packaging's made to look the same size, so it looks the same size, but it actually isn't, then no.
But they'd still lose out in the long run because you wouldn't buy it again.
Yeah.
What can we do about it? Nothing really. Just think we have to put up with it.
And it's something analysts say we're going to have to get used to.
It's a hidden inflation, shrinkflation, because consumers are, I suppose, less likely to notice a smaller package than they are to notice, of course, higher prices in the shops. And that makes it easier, if you like, it's the less of two evils for producers who are looking to manage the higher costs of imported prices due to the pound's fall.
Manufacturers say their products are just as good and they're just trying to keep them affordable. Sophie Long, BBC News.
Now, inflation has been on the rise whilst wages are being squeezed, and now there's even more gloomy news for the British economy. The IMF has slashed its growth forecast for the year in its first downgrade since the Brexit vote, blaming the UK's tepid performance in the first 3 months of the year. The Treasury said it showed how vitally important it was to secure the very best deal on Brexit. But many businesses are now even more concerned about the future, as our business editor Siobhan Kennedy has this in this report.
This is shortwave diathermy equipment.
James Greenham's family has been in the health business for over 90 years.
It can help get heat deep in.
Now it's the health of the British economy that's worrying him. Like most companies, his physiotherapy equipment business continued to grow after the Brexit vote and exports were up. But come the start of the year, UK orders have fallen by a quarter.
Our UK business is struggling. It used to be our largest single market, and I think it would now struggle to top the bill. I think it's to be expected when you read and hear what's going on with Brexit discussions and so on. People are going to be very cautious. If they can put off an investment decision until they know what's going on, then they probably will put that decision off.
That's what he's doing too, holding off buying a new piece of kit to make his business more efficient.
At the moment, Brexit doesn't mean anything. I have no idea how to plan for the business in terms of the outcome of the Brexit discussions and the negotiations, and I'm not even clear what the overall objective is.
Confidence is key for business, but also for the spending power of the high street. Here in Wantage in Oxfordshire, they voted to remain in the EU, and they're nervous about the future.
It's that growing fear that means all eyes will be on Britain's latest growth data released later this week for any signs of a further slowdown. While the UK confounded expectations and held up economically immediately post the Brexit vote, now rising inflation and growing uncertainty is finding its way onto our high street too.
Today we learned that hundreds of everyday products from chocolate to toilet roll have got smaller while their price has stayed the same, a phenomenon known as shrinkflation, making things feel worse. Are you feeling at the pinch, or how are you feeling about your spending power?
I haven't got any spending power because I work part-time, I earn £500 a month, and I don't really get any extra help.
How are you feeling now in terms of rising inflation and spending power?
I don't feel like that's really hit yet.
So the worst is yet to come?
I do think it is. And as I say, I think it's the younger generation that have got to face it.
In terms of your own spending power and inflation and things, and how's that feeling?
That'd always be nice to have a bit more, wouldn't it? But such is life, you know.
You're not feeling too bad then?
No, not really. No, it is what it is, isn't it? You just make the best of it, and you know, you've got what you got.
100 miles up the road in Birmingham, the business secretary unveiled a multi-million-pound investment to develop green batteries as part of a new industrial strategy. The government all too aware of the importance of keeping the economy running smoothly, especially in light of a warning today from the IMF that UK growth could be slower this year than expected.
Over the years, there have been forecasts that have been changed and have been revised. I think you need to look to the long term. And the point of having a long-term modern industrial strategy is to prepare so that you can make your living in the future.
One electrode like that.
Building recovery and resilience is what James Greenham's medical equipment is all about. He's hoping that clarity around Brexit will provide the same boost for his flagging UK business and the British economy.
The ultrasound being delivered.
Well, Brexit is still causing headaches for both the main parties, from Britain's future in the single market to, and I promise you this isn't a summer story, chlorinated chickens. Fatima Manji is in Westminster. Fatima, what is it all about?
Well, Kathy, Liam Fox, International Trade Secretary, is in Washington once again to prepare for that transatlantic international trade deal after Brexit. But it's one aspect of that potential trade deal which is causing concern and reportedly a cabinet split, and that is over chlorine-washed chicken. That's a practice that is banned in the EU for hygiene reasons, but it's very common in American farming. So could we see chlorine-washed chicken hitting British supermarkets' shelves after Brexit? Well, Michael Gove, the Environment Secretary, is reportedly not happy with this. He does not want to see a downgrading in British farming standards. But Liam Fox was asked directly about it in Washington today, and he was quite dismissive, saying that this was all about the British media becoming obsessed with one detail of a potential trade deal. It is a detail, though, that will concern many British customers and indeed farmers, and Liam Fox himself is now being challenged to devour a chlorine-dipped chicken live on British television to prove that he himself is not chicken.
That is getting rather silly season now. But Fatima, you mentioned cabinet split there, but there's also, seems my duty to point out, there's also Labour splits as well on this.
Absolutely. Jeremy Corbyn yesterday very categorically saying that we will no longer be in the single market because to do so would be to be a part of the EU. He's factually wrong about that. Iceland and Norway are in the single market and not in the EU. And today, Welsh First Minister Carwyn Jones said that he would like to see that Norway model adopted and not a Brexit that is being led by nationalists in London. So a split in Labour over Brexit too.
Fatima, thank you very much.